Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by Todderbert. If you enjoy reviews, comparisons, band scans of new and classic portable radios, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of my most excellent videos. In front of us, we have the Qodosen DX-286. This is an AM/FM stereo long-wave, shortwave portable radio based on NXP's Automotive TEF6686 chip. Say that 100 times fast. But yeah, really cool radio. Everybody knows about this one, I think, that's in the community. If it's the first time seeing this, you're in for a treat. So yeah, the DX286. In this video, I'm performing an evening medium wave band scan, but with a C.Crane Twin Coil attached directly to the radio. Yeah, 200 millimeters of Ferrite glory is going to happen with this radio tonight. We'll see what we can pull in. Something, hopefully. I don't know what the conditions are like. We'll just wing it. But first we'll go over features. Second, we'll do a size comparison. And third, we'll start cruising the evening band. So here it is, the Qodosen, how you want to say it, but that's how I say it. DX286. Yeah, it's cool. You can pick this up around $79. Great price for this radio since when it came out. It started at $140 and it came all the way down to $80. Not bad at all. It offers a lot to the beginning radio enthusiast and the experienced enthusiast. So yeah, you're in for, anybody who wants this radio is going to be happy with it, from the beginner all the way to the expert level, because there's so many different options you can explore with this radio as you grow into it. So let's go ahead and talk about some of those options. The left-hand side, carry strap. There's a big option. Antenna jack, which is really cool. We'll be disengaging our internal Ferrite antenna and using the antenna jack here for our medium wave input. You can use it for long waves, passive loop, active loop, and of course, twin coil goodness. Going to the front of the radio, we have a metal speaker grill, as you can see here, with about a 1.5 inch heavy driver speaker. Sounds pretty good. It's got some nice bass tone to it. Our lettering on top there, ultra high sensitivity, sweet. Power button, sleep function. We have a display button, which is nice. If you're doing anything about Texan radios or other radios, it'll toggle what shows up in this right corner. Keep tapping this. It'll show world time, local time. It'll show the signal strength, signal noise ratio, and alarm time. That's nice to have when you're trying to log a station or you're trying to see how your antenna tuning is doing. We'll be using that for tuning our antenna. Going down here, we have a set button, RDS buttons down here. You can see it say meter up, meter down. That's when you're in shortwave. Cool thing is when you're in medium wave, if you just tap these buttons, you can quick tune up, quick tune down. It's really neat. I believe it jumps up 100 kilohertz and goes down 100 kilohertz. Yeah, that's pretty fast, especially on medium wave. So another important thing here is going to be your RDS button. This disengages the internal Ferrite antenna so we can use external antennas. Very awesome. Now, if you're using a passive loop directly attached or a long wire with no amplification, you hit the set button and it adds a low noise amplifier to the passive antenna, or also the whip if you're using the whip on shortwave. Fantastic. I love having that feature. Other buttons here, you'll see a bandwidth button. We have a tone control button. We have a delete button with a little backlight option if we want to have the backlight on all the time. We have an edit button for presets, and we have a mute button there. It's the same thing. I'll probably be using the volume control. I found hitting this was kind of a pain during my last band scan. Here we have a numeric keypad for directing frequencies. You'll see this thing says DIS 1 and 3. If you hold 1 and 3, it'll turn the display off. That's handy, but it's not needed. I haven't noticed any moment where I needed to do that. But there is that if you are extreme DX. Page function. So this has 1,000 presets. You access your pages. You get 100 pages of 10. They're pretty simple. You just got to do a lot of organization. Like your first page could be FM. Second page could be AM morning. Third page could be AM evening. You get the idea. It's all about sorting. Dedicated FM button. Dedicated AM button. So AM has all your shortwave, long wave, and medium wave on it. Up and down browsing controls. You can set these to stop and then keep going, and you can set the delay time, I think, between 5 to 90 seconds. That is an awesome feature. Go to the right hand side of the radio, we have our tuning knob, and it lights the light up when we move it. Now that's nice because it's extended out. If If you push this in, it's a clicky style, it'll change from fast, slow, stop, and it has auto browse. It'll go to auto, so if you just click once, it'll automatically start scanning forward, or if you go back, it'll start scanning backwards. That's nice, down the band. Also, I have squelch too if you need to use it. Of course, the display it currently is showing the local time, which is 11:48 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I'm near Chicago, Illinois, USA, and we're at the beginning of July of 2024, if you're wondering the date. Over here, we have world time at 5 hours. So you can see it's 4:49 in the morning across the universal time. So, all right, and then going volume control, I mentioned headphone jack and micro USB charging. Yep, not Type-C, micro. For those who like the micro. Reset hole on the bottom. We're at the top of the radio. We have a 19-inch whip antenna. Does a decent job pulling in FM stations, as we all know. It's an FM DX machine. Qodosen DX-286. There's your frequency coverage. I find it odd they didn't do the full shortwave coverage. I don't know if that's a limitation of the chip or just their programming. There's a little vented area, a little tiny kickout stand, which I don't recommend using. Battery compartment holds an 18650. I get to provide your own. I recommend like an unprotected button top of a high capacity. I'm using a Samsung 3500 milliamp hour. I picked up at 18650batterystore.com. You can check them out. See if they still sell it. That's a good battery company. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick size comparison. Start cruising the band. I'm noticing my time. I'm having fun showing all these features. Here, this is the main competitor. I'll just show this. This is the Skywave 2. And as you can see, they're the same size. Pretty much. Skywave's just a little smaller. So, yeah, the Qodosen is a definitely ultra light category size, as you can see. It just does things differently. Like this is power hungry. Your battery, even to the high capacity battery, lasts about 17 hours. The Skywave runs on 2 AA batteries, run about 70 hours. Speaker here sounds good. Speaker here doesn't sound good. But headphone use, this sounds good. So does this. So it kind of goes on what you want. 2 different animals. It says weather alert and airband as well, which this does not. There you are. Okay, cool. And then of course we don't have that radio. We have a deck of cards. Iron Man, he's the man with the master plan. He loves Qodosen DX-286s from China land. Ding, 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 ding. He's Iron Man. Delivering your chow mein, man. Nice. Okay, so let's hook this up and turn it on. So, all right. I don't know what I hit. I think I hit a button. So we'll get the wrist strap out of the way. We got the bring in the tuner. I think I got enough room on here, and then we're gonna hook it up. Actually, I want to show you. I'm going to turn this on first. Boot. We're on the internal ferrite. We got to disengage that, so we hold the RDS button down. Antenna external. Now the whip antenna is active. Disengaging the whip when we plug in an external antenna. So I'm routing the output of the twin coil directly to the radio via this patch cable. So there we are. We are now on this. We'll turn it on. Yeah. Let's bring this up a little bit so we can see everything. Now, the cool thing is I don't have to turn the radio. You won't see me spinning the radio round and round. Okay, so. And let me show you the coup de grace, the twin coil we'll be using. 200 millimeters of ferrite glory hidden in this box. It's awesome. This PS2 cable, you can run 75 feet, I believe, with no loss of signal. And if you go 100, it's only 10% loss. So that's nice. So you can mount that remotely. Okay, so let's go ahead and tune to our first station. Let's see if we can pick up anything on 530. Check the volume. Check our bandwidth. I like 4. Yeah, I'm not picking up anything on 530 here. It doesn't get Cuba. Okay, next station.
It's also an insult to some degree. Is its ability to stay and even get more united, stronger after each success.
540 WAUK, Jackson, Wisconsin, 70 miles to the north, 400 watts. I actually have the Ferrite antenna positioned like this horizontally so it can pick up north. It's off to my left on top of a box, elevated, so it's off the table.
We're going to be against our enemy.
Point it north. This faint signal here is CBK, Watrous, Saskatchewan, 1,025 miles. Now, a lot of people will mention that, yeah, we wish this radio had a 2 kilohertz or 1 kilohertz mode. I sort of agree. I wish it at least had 2, because 3 on this radio sounds like a 2.
I don't like to make, but, you know.
Getting rid of tickets for speeding through red lights in the Oval Office. There's not a disincentive or less of a disincentive to use the powers of the office for personal gain and corruption. So people need to pull that ballot lever.
Here's 550 KTRS, St. Louis, Missouri, 275 miles, 5,000 watts to the south-southwest, ever so slightly.
Compliance with the rule of law, because the government or the Supreme Court has now made it much easier.
A couple of things that he said to me just really made a lot of sense. And we talked about how immigration shouldn't be conflated with border security, and that immigration and border security are related. They're not mutually exclusive. And one thing that he brought up was that there are false choices that our politicians give us where this is concerned. Now,
here's 560 WIND, The Answer, local, Chicago. Got the gain tuned up.
There was a system years ago. And as Chris was saying to me,
rough evening. Hopefully find something good, some distant stations.
She's very tough. She's operating at a lower income level with not a lot of money to put down, and so we're going to be in lower income housing type, lower housing prices, which is fine. There's no shame in that. It's better than...
So yeah, conditions could be better. WMT, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 175 miles, 5,000 watts at night to the west.
Here, we've got to lock in that line item. And folks, just to backtrack for those of you that are...
We got 2 minutes left here in the program as we get ready to say goodnight. It's all good. It's all good. Still got 50 wins. No big deal. Dallas Keuchel going tomorrow. And maybe he'll turn...
WTMJ, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 52 miles north, 10,000 watts at night.
When Dallas Keuchel is right, he has pitched in the...
Okay, that music there is KYFI, 630 St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, not bad. Let's see if we can't get the country music station. Sometimes you just move the Ferrite just a little bit and you'll get a different station. It's awesome. Okay, that country music is CFCO, Chatham, Ontario, 310 miles, 6,000 watts to the northeast. Yeah, so I'm actually turning antenna to the west to pick up this northeast station so I can get away from St. Louis.
Several factors, including the season, time of day, geographical location, cloud cover, and pollution levels. Have you experienced symptoms like depression or persistent...
I want to say this is WI, Ames, Iowa, 265 miles.
Increasing sun exposure, incorporating...
Let's turn the antenna and find out.
Berries, fatty fish, and egg yolks into your diet.
Nope.
Or considering supplements under...
It's a local station. WMFN, Peatone, Illinois, 75 miles, 1,600 watts.
For 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Yep.
Black Information Network. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Richard to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have
you get that tuning right, it sounds really good. This is 650 Nashville, Tennessee. 434 miles to the south. Yeah, looking good. This radio is fun. Big audio, too, for a little guy.
Navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself.
Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
From the Springer Mountain Farm studio in Music City, USA, more great country music is just 1 minute away on the radio home of the Grand Ole Opry, WSF. NBC News.
I'm just picking up a hint of 660 WFAN, New York, New York. 750 miles to the northeast. It's hard to come in typically. Oop, we're on slow still. That's not fun. Okay, so we gotta scroll through.
Been discussing some of the moves that have been going on in the NBA. I'll give you a list of free agents still available.
670 to score. The CR Chicago.
Points per game. All right, here's the best guys left if your team's still looking. 24 points a game. You can get DeMar DeRozan, who is looking to move on from Chicago. Miles Bridges at 21 points a game. Likely will not be back.
That to help them as the company tries to get back to business as usual. Vladimir Matic has more. How does the company want to put back together going very quickly or very easily? MD is the former chief operating officer for Ferrite Canada. As we connect to the question, even more calculations.
Okay, CJOB, this is cool. This is a distant station. I'll pop up here.
Different Canadian airports, so many of them are out of their normal bases.
From sentencing, which is currently scheduled for July 11th. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
Now the latest forecast from our friends at WCPO Channel 9.
Overnight lows are going to be in the upper 50s, but tomorrow temperatures start heating up and those higher dew points are coming back.
Channel 9. I used to like Channel 9. Chicago. WLW 700. Cincinnati, Ohio. 300 miles.
Is going to feel more humid, and that's sticking with us throughout the rest of the week. Starting Wednesday, we see rain and storm chances return and pop.
George the big one to the
I got some good selectivity here. I just can't pick up what the station is here. This is religious programming. It doesn't sound like it is now. It's pointed in this direction, so we're picking up anything northwest or southeast.
Institute on the Supreme Court of the United States with Chicago-Kent College of Law.
I personally find this to be a really quite shocking opinion. It really flies in the face of my understanding of one of our principal founding
720 WGN Chicago.
tenets, which is no person is above the law.
Sound good. Music from CFZM, Toronto, Ontario, 460 miles northeast. Yeah, Zoomer Radio always comes in good. That signal crossing the Great Lakes to my house, awesome.
I think you'd be great. Fact is, I never played football. Fact is, I never had anyone tell me I'd be great at something. So, with no experience at all, I signed up. And a week later, I padded up and was running drills on the field.
Here's 750 WSB, Atlanta, Georgia, 630 miles. As you saw, I tuned it up really nice. Just tweaking that fine control, getting the bass control where you need it. This is your coarse knob, and you got your fine tuning. It's awesome.
Encourage a student you know to take part in a high school sport. This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
sneezing, coughing.
Of the largest housing crisis of our lifetime.
In 2008, Ken, you and I saw a lot of people being taken advantage of by bad contractors, and we believe there needed to be more honesty and ethics in the industry.
7.6 WJR, Detroit, Michigan. This is 270 miles direct east.
For any and all your housing needs. The inside
into your summer with Balance of Nature summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-247.
WABC, New York, New York.
And get this limited time
Nice, 750 miles to the northeast.
WABC.
Faster than a 4-hour radio show. More powerful than a podcast. Able to lead all topics with a single listen. Look, up in your feed.
It's a podcast.
No, it's the 77 WABC minicast.
Yes, it's the 77 WABC minicast. Everything you need to know.
Minicast.
10 minutes or less. .com.
Nice.
I'm Greg Bell, and we open with a hit comedy series headed up by quite possibly radio's biggest star. And then later we'll visit with The Couple Next Door. Well, there's simply no doubt that the Jack Benny program is one of the greatest shows of all time. A huge influence to generations who would follow. For example, there likely wouldn't be a Johnny Carson without first a Jack Benny. But Jack was wise enough to not go it alone. He surrounded himself with an impressive team of writers.
There you go, some old-time radio on WBBM Chicago between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. on Monday through Friday. Nice.
Mary Livingston's real name was Sadie Marks, and she became Mrs. Jack Benny.
That's some music. Northwest, southeast.
Contract in NBA history. Jason Tatum, 5 years, $314 million.
Probably WHB, Kansas City, Missouri, 400 miles, 5,000 watts.
$1 million a year player in the NBA. This is a big day for Boston. We reported earlier Derek White.
Okay, it's 8:30. Usually it's WCCO Minneapolis, but I don't think this is. So my signal is going from the southwest or the northeast. When I point it to the west, which is usually WCCO, it kind of nulls out. Interesting. Might be a new station? Can't hover on the music.
Dramatic story out of the U.S. Supreme Court finding that Donald Trump cannot be prosecuted.
Coast to coast, 840 WHAS, Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, coast to coast is going to be a thing now, so every other station I go through. We only got a few minutes left, so we'll see what happens.
Prosecution. The justices of the 6-3 ruling, John Roberts, threw out a decision that had rejected Mr. Trump's claim of immunity.
That's coast to coast coming through KOA, Denver, Colorado, 890 miles. There must be some big storms coming, because I can hear some crackling of lightning, but definitely coming a distance here from Denver.
Mesdames, on vous retrouve dans quelques minutes. Le temps de vous présenter le reportage de cette semaine qui a été mené de main de maître, j'ai envie de dire, par notre formidable réalisatrice Chloé Sondervos, qui s'est rendue récemment chez Mère avec Pouvoir. Mère avec Pouvoir, qu'est-ce que c'est?
CJBC, Toronto, Ontario.
Qui est dédié à des jeunes femmes mères monoparentales.
It was your mom. You got to get that out of your head. How did he ask you for the loan?
He kind of has a do-it-himself style attitude, so instead of going the traditional route of, I suppose, construction.
Here's WWL 870 New Orleans, Louisiana, 865 miles south.
So he likes to do it when he's in construction. River Parkway by Rosedale Avenue, and there's southbound delays on the FDR right around 23rd Street. Also, the Holland Tunnel heading towards New Jersey is closed till 5 a.m. You have the lower level.
WCBS, New York, New York. If you see a trend here, my northeast stations are coming in good, but my west stations are coming in crummy, which I think is storms are coming from.
64 in the city, but 50s in some northern western suburbs.
Western Anita at the Waffle House. I don't really understand where she's going with all of this, but she does. She is in the Crazy Hall of Fame.
It's above me now. It's above Joe Biden now. Don't care about Joe Biden's age, infirmity, that he shuffled when he walked. I don't care. Donald John Trump.
Here's 890. This is WLS Chicago.
And a Republican House and Senate. We're done, y'all. All the rights that were won in the 20th century, the hard-earned rights of
Okay, that's cool. I don't know. It's not pointed towards Hamilton, Ontario. It's pointed in the other direction. It's pointed northwest or southeast. Interesting music. I expect that from old-time radio on CHML. We got some nice music at 940 WFAW, Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. Yeah, I got about 4 minutes left. I'm just going to zip up the band. You get the idea.
even at the pre-study.
Not do anything whatsoever. So, I did not take any data to estimate age or the height of this individual. There are no photographs of the remains. No DNA has been taken. So it's the antithesis of what I do.
So here's 990. I believe it's Canadian station CBW, Winnipeg. Let me just get my notes here. It's 675 miles. Nice. And it's northwest. It's pointed that direction.
Members of the regiment, that's when I got
with Embiid off the court in that first round series against the Knicks.
1000 MVP Chicago.
Yeah, they couldn't defend him. So that's why, yes, you put them ahead of the Knicks on paper. But what the Knicks have that the Sixers don't is depth, and that's number one most importantly. And then the switchability of
tracking it every single week in order to get in touch with it, because I was so
1010 CFRB Toronto.
You spend $120 on that pair of sneakers 3 weeks later when you're doing your
taking him somewhere or contributing to something bigger than just a viral video and a
KDKA Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 450 miles to the east.
That in some way prevents the selection.
Everything with sea salt and pepper, zest the lemon, reserve that for later. And then what you're going to do is then you're going to whisk together lemon juice from 2 lemons with a 1/3 cup of olive oil and a tablespoon of dried oregano. Then
WBZ, Boston, Massachusetts. This is 880 miles northeast.
15 minutes until the chicken gets really quick.
PennDOT is impacted. The client firms, through no fault of their own, can still take a big hit on their bottom lines.
WHO, Des Moines, Iowa, 280 miles to the west.
So they lose either way. And unfortunately, it's through no fault.
They were men of a different temperament.
This is KAAY, Little Rock, Arkansas, 570 miles to the south.
The more they seem to stay pretty much the same, unfortunately.
WTAM, Cleveland, Ohio, 345 miles. I can't hover on coast to coast because they do copyright it.
They've been doing that, and that brings up... Yeah, they've been doing that, and that brings up...
There it is again on KFAB, Omaha, Nebraska, 405 miles.
It's a good idea to have your really important core applications.
I don't know if I mentioned 1100 was Cleveland, Ohio, 345 miles. WTAM, might have missed that. I'm trying to go quick.
Preventable, and problems that they were warned about.
KMOX 1120, St. Louis, Missouri.
I heard it a couple of months ago with Christian Megan. I go, okay, and one of the players
$43 million.
in the past
which will have a ball field-sized spacecraft, the ISS, and bring it down out of orbit.
WRVA, Richmond, Virginia, 665 miles, coast to coast.
Over the South Pacific.
difference today. Call 800-78-GRACE or visit ingraceradio.com.
As you can see, you can move quite along without having to touch the tuner for a while. It's not a big deal. 1160 WYLL, Chicago, Hope for Your Life, local.
Very beautiful place.
I'm going to zip up the band and we'll call it a day.
Well, maybe the district judge, the trial judge, can work it out. For the jury. And then the jury can
A hint of WPHT, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles northeast.
whatever the judge decides on what.
Eu vou falar do preço. Não sei o falecido depois. Pessoal, a coisa que você escutou na mesma começou assim, igual.
Interesting language. I don't know. This might be CFMB, Montreal, Quebec. 763 miles. That could just a guess.
Esse resultado, essa situação está comercial da igreja. Na situação,
all of those charges unfairly, by the way, I would say. Days, they're really not. Grab it
Very permanently docked to the ISS, but we ended up with a lot.
Aphelion Day means that the sun is 94.
More coast to coast, Nashville, Tennessee, WLAC.
Wonder, how can it be so hot?
For him, that's not what Dallas's offense looks like. Now, they might put
Cincinnati, Ohio, WCKY.
Verily, Clay Thompson,
special duty and what was not. And whatever she decides can then
TXL, Waterloo, Iowa, 210 miles west.
way this is going to come up before the election.
CHHA, Toronto. KCJJ, the mighty, Iowa City, Iowa, the west.
Yeah, you did it, but I didn't love that. But I love you. And even though things...
That's a great for an out-of-context drop. 855-212-4227. It's the Burt Winkler Show.
And 1700 is W. Yeah, I should know that one. I don't know why I always falter on that one. KBGG. I don't know why I said W. Des Moines, Iowa, 280 miles. Nice. To the west. Okay, we're done. Turn it off. Okay, cool. I'll disengage all my stuff here in a little bit. But yeah, there it is. A C.Crane Twin Coil attached to the Qodosen DX-286. This is pretty awesome. If you enjoyed the video, give a big like. If you like Qodosen radios and want to see more, hit subscribe with the bell icon. And 3, comment below what you think about the DX-286 with this combo. Would you do it? I'll be honest with you. If you have like the passive loop like the Turk or a Texan AN200 and you have a direct connection, give it a shot. And then turn on the amplifier on the set button there, the low noise amplifier, and man, it'll rock and roll. Trust me. And let me know how, if you're using that, let me know how that works for you. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next video.